Welcome back to another Explore Taiwan, everyone. I'm Alex.
And I'm Sophia. If you're a regular listener, you know we absolutely love Taiwan. The food, the convenience, the incredibly kind people, it really is a paradise in so many ways.
Oh, without a doubt. But honestly, no place on earth is perfect. Every country has its quirks, its frustrating habits, and sometimes, well, things that drive outsiders completely insane.
Exactly. So today, we are diving into the flip side. We are looking at the ultimate foreigner complaints about Taiwan, the Living Hell rankings, according to online expat forums, travel warnings, and our own foreign friends' experiences.
Yeah, don't turn off the podcast just yet. This is all in good fun, but with a lot of truth to it. And speaking of truth, Sophia, let's start with the absolute number one, undisputed champion of foreigner nightmares in Taiwan. Can you guess what it is?
Oh, I don't even need to guess. It's definitely the traffic, specifically what international media has been calling pedestrian hell.
Bingo. Pedestrian hell. Let's break down that word first. A pedestrian is anyone who is walking on the street, not driving. And in Taiwan, being a pedestrian feels like playing a high-stakes video game.
Oh, totally. I mean, honestly, when you are walking on a zebra crossing, the painted crosswalk and the pedestrian light turns green, you'd think you're safe, right? In most Western countries, cars and scooters will come to a complete dead stop if they see a human being breathing near a crosswalk.
Yeah, they literally freeze. But here, well, it's a completely different story. The moment that light turns green, cars and scooters turning right or left will literally zoom right past you. Sometimes they pass so close you can feel the wind from their exhaust pipe. It's like they're playing a real-life game of Frogger.
Laughs Frogger. That classic video game where the little frog tries to cross the busy highway without getting smashed? That is actually the perfect metaphor. You can't just look at the traffic light. You have to do what I call 360-degree defensive walking. You have to lock eyes with the drivers to make sure they actually see you and aren't planning to use you as a speed bump.
Well, I mean, it's not just the moving vehicles that make walking a nightmare. It's also the infrastructure, or rather, the lack of it. Have you ever noticed the disappearing sidewalks?
Oh my goodness, yes. You're walking on a designated sidewalk, enjoying your day, and then suddenly, boom, the sidewalk just vanishes. It either turns into a makeshift parking lot for 50 scooters, or it's completely blocked by a massive green transformer box, a restaurant's kitchen setup, or a giant advertising signboard.
Exactly. It forces you to step off the curb and walk directly onto the asphalt road, sharing the narrow lane with speeding buses and scooters. It's dangerous for anyone, but honestly, think about expat parents pushing a baby stroller. It is an absolute nightmare. The word bureaucracy comes to mind when we think about how cities are planned, but we will get to that kind of hell in a minute.
Right. But before we move on, let's look at that phrase, makeshift parking lot. Makeshift means something temporary or substituted for the real thing. People just decide, hey, this sidewalk is now a parking space. It's wild.
It really is. Now, speaking of bureaucracy, let's transition from the chaotic streets into the quiet, air-conditioned world of Taiwanese banks. You think a country famous for making the world's most advanced microchips would have the most advanced banking system, right?
Oh, you would think so. But oh boy, foreign expats always say that entering a Taiwanese bank feels like entering a time machine that takes you straight back to the 1980s. It's like time is completely frozen there.
Laughs. It really is. If a foreigner wants to open a basic bank account, they can't just do it online in 5 minutes. No. They have to physically go to the bank, sit there for 1 or 2 hours, and fill out a mountain of actual paper forms. And the worst part? The signature isn't enough. They often ask for a chop. You know, that traditional red ink stamp with Chinese characters.
Wait, honestly? Think about it from an American or European perspective. They don't even know what a chop is. They don't have a Chinese name. So the bank clerk tells them, go down the street, pay someone to carve a wooden stamp with your translated name, and come back. It sounds like a joke, but it's 100% real.
And let's not even talk about the online banking apps. Half of them don't have a full English interface. Or if they do, the system literally crashes because the foreigner's legal name is too long for the digital text box. It's hilarious, but incredibly frustrating.
Well, I mean, that administrative headache doesn't stop at the bank. It follows foreigners right into the workplace. Taiwan is known for its high-pressure, workaholic culture, which is already tough. But there is one specific corporate concept that drives Westerners completely insane. Alex, do you know the dreaded term?
Oh, you mean the infamous make-up workdays?
Yes, make-up workdays. For our listeners who might not know, if a public holiday falls on a Tuesday or a Thursday, the government will often bridge the holiday to create a long 4-day weekend. Sounds great, right?
It sounds amazing until you realize you have to pay it back by working on the Saturday of the previous or following week. To a foreigner, this is a total violation of the sacred 2-day weekend. They value their work-life balance so much. In the West, if a holiday is on a Thursday, you just go to work on Friday, or you take your own paid leave. Forcing everyone in the country to work on a Saturday feels like a collective punishment.
It really does. And the work boundaries are so blurry here. Thanks to messaging apps, bosses often expect you to answer work messages late at night or during your days off. For foreigners who are used to completely disconnecting after 5 p.m., this constant connectivity is a psychological drain.
Definitely. A drain means something that slowly uses up your energy or resources. It's exhausting.
Speaking of things that drain you physically, let's talk about the weather, specifically the never-ending humidity and mold.
Ugh, don't remind me. If you are from a dry climate like California, parts of Europe, or even South Korea and Japan, the humidity in Taiwan is a literal shock to your system. During the winter, it's not just cold, it's a damp, biting cold that seeps into your bones because the moisture in the air conducts the temperature so well.
And the mold. Oh my goodness, the mold is a living, breathing enemy. If you don't run a dehumidifier, which is a machine that sucks moisture out of the air 24 hours a day, your life starts to deteriorate. Your leather jackets turn green, your favorite shoes grow fur, and your bathroom tiles turn black within 48 hours of scrubbing them.
Laughs. It's so true. Foreigners always complain that they spend half their weekends just fighting a war against fungi. It's a constant battle.
It really is. But okay, let's move on to the grand finale. Let's talk about food. Now, everyone knows foreigners usually struggle with stinky tofu. That's old news. We aren't here to talk about stinky tofu today. There are other foods that represent a true texture nightmare or structural horror for outsiders.
Yes. Let's talk about anatomy first. In Western supermarkets, meat is usually sold completely neat and clean. You get a boneless chicken breast, a perfect steak, or a fillet of fish. No skin, no bones, no weird bits. But But then, a foreigner buys a traditional Taiwanese lunchbox, a bento.
Right. They order a fried chicken chop or a pork chop. They take a massive, enthusiastic bite and crunch. They hit a splintered bone.
Yes. In Taiwan, meat is traditionally chopped up right through the bone to keep it juicy during cooking. But to a foreigner, chewing on tiny fragments of bone is terrifying. They feel like they're going to break a tooth, and that's just the regular meat. What about the night market staples, like pig intestines, duck blood, or chicken feet?
Oh, the chicken feet are a massive psychological barrier. In English, we call these organs, or offal. Westerners are generally conditioned to avoid eating organs, and seeing a chicken foot with the claws still attached sitting in a soup is just too much visual data for them to process. They look at it and think, this looks like a horror movie prop, not dinner.
Well, even if they avoid the organs, they still have to face the texture nightmare. There is a specific texture that Taiwanese people absolutely worship, but English doesn't even have a single perfect word for it. We usually translate it as chewy or rubbery, but locals just call it Q or QQ.
Yes, the legendary Q texture. For us, it's a compliment. It means bouncy, fun to chew, and satisfying. But for many Westerners, things like the thick, gelatinous skin of a traditional savory meat meatball or the sticky, slimy texture of an oyster omelet feel totally wrong.
Oh, definitely. The translucent, gooey starch layer on an oyster omelet is often described by foreigners as feeling like lukewarm slime or undercooked dough. They try to chew it, but their brain is screaming, "Do not swallow this. It is not fully cooked."
Laugh's lukewarm slime is a brutal description, but honestly, I can see why they think that if they didn't grow up with it. And it gets even more complicated when you mix textures and flavors that they think should never go together. For example, have you ever introduced a foreign friend to pig's blood cake with peanut powder?
Oh, that is a classic test of friendship. Pig's blood cake mixed with sticky rice already sounds intimidating. But then we coat it in sweet crushed peanut powder and fresh coriander. For a lot of foreigners, coriander belongs in savory Mexican food, peanuts belong in desserts, and pig's blood belongs, well, nowhere near their mouth. Combining them all on a stick is a complete sensory overload.
It really is. And that actually leads us to another major food complaint. The fact that in Taiwan, especially in the South, meat dishes can be incredibly sweet.
Oh yes, the sweet meat phenomenon. In Western culinary traditions, savory is savory and sweet is sweet. They do not cross lines very often. But here, if you order a bowl of minced pork rice or use a local thick soy sauce paste, it can taste like it's packed with sugar.
Think about meat floss, too. That fluffy, dried pork topping we put on toast or rice balls, foreigners look at it and think it looks like brown cotton candy. Then they eat it, and it tastes like sweet, meaty dust. Their brains just short-circuit because they cannot understand why meat tastes like sugar.
Laughs short-circuit is the perfect word. Their taste buds just don't know how to categorize it. It's like their palate is experiencing an error code.
Exactly. But you know what's funny? Despite the terrifying crosswalks, the frustrating banks, the makeup Saturdays, the endless mold, and the sweet pork floss, most foreigners who come here still end up staying for years.
Oh, absolutely. They complain on the internet, but then they go out, grab a bubble tea with the perfect QQ boba texture, and realize that the good things about Taiwan far outweigh the hellish ones.
Well said, Alex. It's all about perspective. If you can survive the pedestrian crosswalks and learn to enjoy a little sugar in your pork, you're basically a local.
Exactly. Well, that is all the time we have for today's Explore Taiwan. To our listeners, what do you think is the hardest part of living in Taiwan? Let us know in the comments.
Don't forget to practice the vocabulary we used today, like pedestrian, makeshift, and bureaucracy. Until next time, see ya!
Bye, everyone.